Good evening to my friend and colleague, Gail Starr, ChatGPT and AI. That's where it's all at. It's trending. Everyone wants to know how.
It all seemed so easy, and I couldn't quite understand why people didn't just go ahead and do it.
Brings in income like when we're sleeping.
Using a system like ChatGPT for me is what got me over the finish line. The way we come across must be consistent.
If you don't know what to ask, just ask anything.
You can deep dive so well. Any kind of context that you want ChatGPT to know about you as a brand.
It's telling me how to say in a better way.
And these are the people that I'm going to help.
I love it. That's why we're here today. And we say we're live, everybody. Yes. Hi. Hi, everybody. Good evening to my friend and colleague, Gail Starr. Say hi, everybody. Gail is coming to us from South Africa, and I'm going to just introduce her. Gail and I met about 3 years ago now, during the year that we all remember, 2020. And she and I met in a group with our mutual friend and colleague, Meg Burridge. And many of you here in the Tech Playground have heard me talk about Meg. You even saw her interviewed a few months back, so you can go back and watch that one. And for those of you, let's see, I got messages happening all around here. I got people texting me, messaging me, trying to find the live in the group. So as everybody gets settled, that's oftentimes the one, if there is a drawback about using native Zoom, which is what I use. I use native Zoom inside here, which is I'm coming to you in a Zoom meeting. Gail is my participant, my co-host actually right now, and I've used the live stream from Zoom to Facebook. And there's no other software involved here. I'm using my Mac, I have my browser open, and then we come to you. We both have our microphones and we have cameras. So in terms of the software that's needed, it's pretty simple. However, there is no direct link that I could have put in the group to send you right to this recording. So I'm relying on you all finding this in the Facebook group, and I'll just text you all if you're messaging me in the Zoom group chat. I see people messaging me there in the Zoom team chat. I see people messaging me in Facebook. Hi, everyone, and welcome. I can see you coming in now, so I'll give you a little bit of time to get settled. And I am so excited that Gail Starr has agreed to be our member spotlight today. Gail and I met again through Kajabi. However, in the last couple of months, she has become my go-to AI and ChatGPT expert. ChatGPT and AI. That's where it's all at. It's trending. Everyone wants to know how, where, when, what do I use? What's the tool? And for ChatGPT, which is the one I focus on with Gail, for me, my questions for her are, how should I prompt it? What should I ask it? What should I ask Chat? So tell us in the comments give us a yes if you're using ChatGPT. And then don't just give me a no, give me a list of what you're using. I'd love to know. Are you using another tool? What's your favorite? Put that in the comments. And I'm going to pass the microphone to Gail right now. Just Gail, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be a specialist in AI. I want you to go back a little bit, like a few years, it led you to here.
Hi, Betsy. Thanks so much for having me, and hello to everybody. It's really lovely to be here with Betsy. As Betsy said, we met 3 years ago, and I was as green can be when it came to anything online. In fact, everybody jokes with me in our CCI group. That was the group that I first joined with Betty and Meg, because when I first joined, I had never, ever even purchased anything online. South Africa, we are many years behind the rest of the world when it comes to technology, although with COVID and with everything moving online, we are beginning to move in that direction. But I would still say we probably, instead of maybe 15 years behind everybody else, maybe we sort of 5 years now. But sort of traditionally, South Africans were very, very, very skeptical about anything online. We felt like if you put your credit card into an online store or something, you would have your credit card details stolen and scammed. And so it really was just nothing that was on my radar at all. But then, of course, the world changed. We all went into lockdown. I've run my own businesses for the past, my daughter is now 22, and I started my first business when she was just 8 months old, which was a swim school. So I grew that swim school over the next 21 years. We ran the biggest swim school in my town. We had over 300 children in the swim school. I also just loved entrepreneurship, and I was one of those kind of people who, very fortunately, I seem to have a knack for seeing opportunities. So I bought another franchise, a mom and baby franchise, and we grew that. And I bought a training company where we train nannies and childcare and first aid. So I've always been in the entrepreneurial space. I often think of myself as an accidental entrepreneur because I was always one of those people who were like, "Oh, I'd love to work from home," but then everybody's like, "Yes, but what can you do from home?" So I just made it work, being at home with the kids and stuff. So for me, moving into the online space was like not only a complete pivot of what I'd been doing, but it was also like a big jump into the unknown, into the very unknown. And people, when I was trying to explain to them here in South Africa what I'd started doing, they were all like, "That sounds dodgy, like, are you scamming people? Is it they always used to say, is it a multi-level marketing? Is it a pyramid scheme?" And to try and explain to people what we were doing was difficult. But when I met Betsy and Meg, I just thought Betsy was this amazing person. I thought she had been in the online space for ages, and I saw all these entrepreneurs and I was like, "Oh, I want to be like them." And so my journey began, and yeah, it's been an incredible 3 years. I think, like Betsy, I give Meg all the sort of thanks for introducing me to all of this. And I started as a Kajabi service provider. I saw what Meg was doing, and I thought, that is just such a niche. I could see that there were so many people inside of Kajabi, so many online entrepreneurs who needed help. And I felt like that was a place for me to start. I just clicked with Kajabi straight away, which was very lucky because I wasn't particularly techie to start off with. And then, yeah, I put my head down for sort of 2.5 years, learned Kajabi inside and out, learned all about online, joined James Wedmore's program, joined Meg's CCI, and yeah, just really went on to learn as much as I could about the online world and online course creators who were very much like myself. Sort of.
Yes. Yeah. You just said something, which is something we have in common, which I really believe, which makes the three of us click, is our desire to learn all the time. We can't wait to learn something new. And when I came to the group, I didn't know anything about online marketing. And I, of course, came in as the Zoom expert. That's what I wanted to make my online course in. And Meg, being the Kajabi expert, didn't know Zoom all that well yet. So I taught her breakout rooms early on, like at the beginning of 2021. Do you remember that? And yes. And then, so now, you come in, well, you've been in our group, becoming more of a Kajabi expert and really getting people as you say, get unstuck. When you get to a point in your online course creation, or you're trying to figure out some sort of automation, and many of our audience in here may not even know what Kajabi is. So what I've done is in the comments here, I've put a link to the training that you and I and Meg are doing next week. It's free training. So go ahead and get signed up. It's free. I mean, what do you have to lose? It's free. We have a separate Facebook group, which is called the Blast Off Tech Squad. And we support you all in your launching of these online digital products, which by the way, Gail, right, brings in income like when we're sleeping. I mean, the fact that you can be driving in a car, riding your bike, doing your marathon runs, sleeping, and then you get a notification that you've just sold one of your courses. So, how was that for you when that started rolling in, when that started happening?
Absolutely, Betsy. Well, to be honest with you, I actually couldn't believe it. There's such a difference I've found between being a service provider and actually becoming a course creator and creating my own programs. And I'm learning so much now from having done the service provider, so having helped other people, and now doing it myself. And what I've realized is, as a service provider, we don't realize just how much it takes of a course creator to put themselves out there and to create an online business. In our heads, we know everything that needs to be done. We know step by step. We have checklists, we have launch runways with checklists, and we'll say to our course creators or the people, our clients we're helping, okay, now you need to do this and this and this and this. And when I was just a service provider, it all seemed so easy, and I couldn't quite understand why people didn't just go ahead and do it. Now, coming from the side of the actual course creator, I realize there is so much more at play, and I feel like now I'm in a better place to help people. And that is how I've ended up going into the whole AI ChatGPT, because what I found was that as a service provider, I was definitely helping people, building stuff, implementing stuff, but it takes so much out of you as a course creator to put yourself out there and to get everything online. And there's still a lot that you yourself have to do. And so that to-do list is just never ending. That to-do list just goes on and on and on. And I know how many course creators really need to start earning an income. A lot of them have left corporate or are using it as a side hustle and want to turn it into their main hustle. And using a system like ChatGPT for me is what got me over the finish line to start putting my offers out there. I had wanted to probably for about a year. I'd been thinking about group training sessions, mini workshops, all sorts of things. But with my main job of being a service provider, I had never got to the stage where I was creating the necessary assets. Yes. Then ChatGPT came along. And then I suddenly realized that together with ChatGPT and myself as an assistant, I was just getting things done so much quicker. And I've had VAs before, and I absolutely love having a VA, but it's difficult to have a one-on-one conversation with your VA while you're brainstorming and doing everything. Whereas with ChatGPT, that's exactly what happened. So I could get ideas out of my head faster, could get them onto paper faster. Then I could get that to my VA to create lead magnets, PDFs, whatever. So that's how I decided. That's when I decided it was such a game changer for me. And I just thought there are people like me that are in my circle and in my audience. And these are the people that I'm going to help.
I love it. That's why we're here today. And so I hope you can give us some examples. I know you've given examples, and I know you will next week, but I thought to give us some examples of how to get started. I know a lot of people are already in it. There's all different levels, right? And I'm sure you've talked to so many people who want the more advanced stuff. There's text, there's images. And then there are people who are like, what is this? What is all of this stuff? What is this ChatGPT? So you've got the whole range. But primarily, I am always at the point where I'm like, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say in my email. I don't know what to say to title that. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. How should I write that? What are some of those tips? And even yesterday, if you're here today in the comments, I'm curious, my tech club. So I run this tech club and we have a weekly meeting. And yesterday, somebody had asked about AI. Actually, Barb, if she's here, she had asked about AI. And in Canva, so we went to ChatGPT, Gail. We asked it the question about, give me 30 tips for improving gamification and engagement in Zoom, like in online classes. And boom, it gave us, and I even used your idea of like in the persona of, and, to give it like that flavor that I was asking it. And we took the text and then we pasted it into Canva's feature called Bulk Create. And then in a matter of minutes, we had 30 posts like that. We had 30 posts like for social media. So in order to get somebody to that point, what would you tell them how to start in ChatGPT and the fact that there's number 3, there's number 4, like what is all that about?
Okay, so ChatGPT's, it started off as 3, then it went to 3.5, and now it's 4. 4 is currently your paid ChatGPT. And they say that number 4 has more reasoning. And I must say, I pay $20 a month for ChatGPT 4, and I definitely find the outputs better. I think perhaps I'm finding it because I'm doing more and more complicated things. I'm testing it more and more for our trainings, so I'm not just asking it to write me an email or to write me a blog post. I'm beginning to ask for complex things. So I have found that 4 currently, it works well for me, but a lot of people are using the 3.5 and are absolutely fine. It's the free version and it's absolutely fine. There have been rumblings that OpenAI has just trademarked ChatGPT 5, so I'm pretty sure that 5 is on its way, and what that will bring, we're not too sure. ChatGPT 4, the paid for, you get plugins. So like in ChatGPT 4, if you enable a link reader, you can ask ChatGPT to summarize a website. You can get PDFs. You can, if you've got an ebook, you could take that ebook, you could put it into a PDF reader, and you could ask ChatGPT to read the PDF and summarize it. So it has plugins that can help. They're just enhanced features inside of ChatGPT. So if I was starting from the beginning, I went for a walk this afternoon and I was thinking about this. If I was to start at the beginning, I would definitely, the very first thing that I would do is I would get my brand voice set inside of ChatGPT so that all the content that I was then creating and generating is within the same voice as everything else. So obviously, we all know as online course creators that we want our content to be the same through all of our platforms. It must sound like us, whether people are on our website, whether people are on our social medias, whether they're on our social sales pages or opt-in pages, anything like that. The way we come across must be consistent. And we can set that up inside ChatGPT quite easily. What you do is you tell ChatGPT that you're going to be giving it some examples of your written work. So you can give it some email examples, just copy and paste it in. You can tell ChatGPT that you're going to give it some examples of spoken word. So if you have a voice generator that can generate a transcript from it, can add that in. And you basically give ChatGPT a number of different examples of your style. You can then also tell it about your values, your beliefs, your behaviors, any kind of context that you want ChatGPT to know about you as a brand. You can put it into ChatGPT, and then you can ask it simply to create a brand voice, which includes your brand tone, your brand style, and your brand language. And ChatGPT will come up with a brand voice for you. And then when you're working inside of ChatGPT, you can just use that brand voice at each chat. One tip that I have, I see a lot of people starting new chats for new things. What I do is inside of my ChatGPT, I have one chat for my social media, and I don't change it then. So from the time I've started using chat for my social media, I've got all my chats, all the brainstorming, all the posts and things that we've created, so that because ChatGPT learns the way you speak and learns what you like as you go down. So don't create new chats each time you're building content.
So can I ask, let me interject if I may, in order to save it, and I don't know if we didn't even talk about this, if you want to share screen, you're welcome to, but I'm curious now if that is, do you save that in a folder? Do you save your social media chats in a folder?
No, so just down the left-hand side, you've got all your chats. So I just name them. So like my Instagram one is optimized Instagram. That's what the name is. So I know. The only thing that I've changed is I started, obviously we all started in 3 or 3.5 when it was the default. And then I had to start again when I moved to 4, because you can't change to 4 if your chat is in 3.5. So that's the only time I would change if you're wanting to do something different like that. So I've got all our training that we're going to be doing next week. That whole training challenge, I inputted our opt-in page for the challenge so that it knows all about us. I gave it all the context about who you are and what you do, who Meg is and what she does, who I am. So I've got a challenge chat. And then for my training, which I've been doing on course creation using ChatGPT, I've got one chat. So we'll start at the top and we'll, the whole thing. I brainstorm with it, and we've got the outlines and we've got the titles and everything. So all in one chat. And then, I've been doing the emails for our ongoing, our sales emails. So then I put in our challenge link, I put in our sales page link, I put in examples of previous promotional emails. And so you give chat lots and lots of context. So the brand voice is where we start. Just to give you an idea, with the sales email sequence that I've been building for Meg, I put in about 8 example emails of Meg's email writing so that ChatGPT could get a good brand voice for Meg. I put in her sales page. I put in information from her website so that ChatGPT has a good understanding of who Meg is, how she writes, her values, those sorts of things. And then we created the email sequences from there. So that brand voice is really your starting point. So that is where I would start. And then the next thing I would do is I would do a combination of a deep dive into my ideal client and a look at the offers that I am thinking about creating. So this was if I was starting right at the beginning. I'm new to this online world and I've got these ideas and I think I've got an idea for a course. So I would do a combination of ideal client and my offers. And when I say a combination, because so often we have an idea of what we want to sell or what we want to create, but often it doesn't align with what our ideal client is actually needing. So I would do a combination of ideal client and offers, a deep dive into my ideal client, getting information from ChatGPT about their demographics and their pain points, their motivations, their goals, their behaviors. You can deep dive so well on ideal clients. You can talk about their internal motivations. You know, Betsy, you are a James Wedmore fan, and I never really understood all the internal motivations and the external motivations. But ChatGPT is very good at giving you examples and bringing those to life. And you can ask ChatGPT, if my ideal client bought this offer from me, how would they feel after they've got the transformation that I'm promising? How did they feel before they had, they got this offer that from me? So it really helps with diving deep. And there's pain points that we haven't thought about when it comes to our ideal client and motivations and values. So then with that deep dive, you can then look at the offers that you're thinking about doing and make sure that they are aligned. So that's why I say a combination of ideal client and offers. Gotcha. And then, sorry, Betsy, carry on.
No. Gotcha. I'm gonna, while you're talking, I'm gonna bring up my ChatGPT just to so you can narrate me through one of these prompts. Would that be okay with you?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Should we look at the ideal client? Because that is always, I'm always amazed at what ChatGPT comes up with. So, Betsy, if you will just give me a moment, I just want to grab a prompt.
So for those listening, I just have the free version. So I just went to my ChatGPT, which I saw one of the comments Lori had asked what I don't currently save any. I'm really at like the newbie exploring ChatGPT user. That's my level. So for those watching, and I'm gonna put the Chat GPT. I'm the tech expert here. That's what I love to do. So for those who are brand new and want to go to chat, that's the link in there, chat.openai.com. So that would be a good place to start and just make a free account. And actually for our free training week next week, that would probably be a good thing to do today anyway, if you're gonna attend. And okay, so let me bring up.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay. So you can do this for your industry, or we can try it for any industry. But I always think it's a good idea to put it for your industry, because then you can see whether the output that chat gives you is good or not. So act as a marketing expert. Remember, we chatted about the persona.
Yeah.
Create a detailed client avatar or buying persona for and you can put in your
technology
business.
Training business.
Yes.
Right.
Targeting. And what
this would be, I'm going to go with my my online educators. No, I'm going to go a little more specific because I do real estate educators. Let's go there. Oh, wait, actually, I see the way you've written it. So targeting, here's a question for you, because I target educators, but the word educators, I don't target primary school or, post-grad. I target adult and continuing education. So would chat like it if I put continuing education or professional? Because it's really, I target educators who are in the professional arena.
I'd say professional, yeah.
Okay.
The nice thing though, Betsy, is that if you don't get good outputs the first time, then you can test it. You can test that professional educators, continuing educators, until you get the type of output that you're looking for. So right. This is a very simple, so you can hit go. This is a very simple client avatar deep dive. You get quite a lot more advanced ones, but I'm always amazed at how accurate these often are. So you can just have a look through and just read and see whether this ideal client avatar that has come up for you is the type of people that you would be targeting. So she's even got a name at the top there.
Beautiful. Yeah. Director of education. I have a couple of those people here. You can say hi in the comments if you're a director of education. So background, that age range is probably on the lower side, I want to say. So would you recommend when you see something in here that you want it to be tweaked? How would you go about asking chat?
I would just say, this is great. If this is good, so you can go through the rest of it. But just to note that my target audience is normally 45 to 60 or 40 to whatever.
Beautiful. And now I just want to jump a little bit to something you said earlier. I know we're working on the ideal client right now, but you had said something earlier about the chats show up on the left-hand side of the screen, and that in order to help your brand voice, you would continue, like you would have your social media ones. So you see, I have a history of ones that I've done, but I haven't done it that way. Would you typically, like I did one on trivia because I was doing I needed some ideas on games. I do a lot of gamification. So would you recommend, I'm not going to do it now, but you would just click into one of those chats on the left, and then it's this ongoing thread is what you meant, right? And you would just continue.
And you could just carry on. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So I would definitely do that. As I said, if you haven't as yet started saving, it's not really even saving your chats, it's just going back into your chats. Then you can start doing that. And you see that little pencil next to the educator tech training. You can then just go, so on the left-hand side so it's picked up that educator tech training at the top.
Yes.
So if you just click that little pencil, and then you can just rename it. So I just make sure that I rename it something that I will know exactly what I've been working on. And then, then and you can just keep on working inside of that.
That would be for because there might be a couple of different audiences I might want to do, correct?
Absolutely.
Great.
Okay. And then from there, you can start. So as we said, you could say that's great, but just to let you know that the target audience is a little bit older. And if you're happy with this first output, you can say something like, you don't need to do anything further, but I want to tell you that my target audience is actually this age.
Okay.
If you just say my target audience is actually this age, it might try and regenerate the whole thing. So it's really up to you. If you were happy with the first output, you can just tell it, for your information, my target audience is actually this. You don't need to do anything further. This is just for context, something like that. And then ChatGPT will probably say, okay, thanks very much. And then we would carry on doing the rest of the dive.
Okay, so something like this, that's maybe true, like something like that. For your information, my target audience is actually between the ages of 35 and 65, something like that.
Just say, you don't need to do anything further. This is just for context.
And then you generate that?
Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, yeah. So there we go. So it said fine. So then Betsy, then what I would do is basically, now depending on why you're doing this deep dive. So say you are looking to sell a program, then you could go in and you could say, right, I'd like to take the pain points that we've got in this chat, and I would like you to expand on them. Or could you think of 5 more pain points from a different perspective, or 5 unique pain points, 5 pain points that most people don't understand? Or you could then go on, as I said, if you are wanting to understand motivations, you could say, what are the primary goals of this avatar? What are their motivations for wanting to do X, Y, Z? So you would then go in, and depending on what your goal is for the deep dive that we're doing, you would then ask ChatGPT specific questions about this ideal client. So maybe you want to, you say, so if you've got an idea for a course, you could ask it, I've got this idea for a course. What solution would this course, maybe what we should say is something like, I'd like to create a course for this target audience. Could you give me some idea of courses that they would find relevant or that would solve some of their pain points?
Actually, okay. I mean, I could go further. I know that I want to create a course for this audience on using engaging tools in Zoom. For this audience, I mean, I'm teaching this tomorrow, so I have this, but this is just a great example of when you know what you know in your head, because you all out there watching today are the experts in your field. And we turn to chat, don't we, it's like a filler for me. It's not necessarily telling me what I don't know. It's telling me how to say in a better way, and sometimes just giving me the jump start that I need. So would it be wise at this point to say, can you give me an idea of a course for this audience on engaging techniques using Zoom?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Because then you're giving ChatGPT a starting point. It knows that you're thinking about doing this course, and then you can start the brainstorming process with it, because it's going to come up with some ideas, and then you're going to like them or not like them. And let's have a look, see.
And so in this case, I just want to highlight again that we are in the same thread as the ideal client. I did not start a new chat. Is that what you call them? This whole thread here?
Yeah.
Look at that, people. Give me a, oh yeah, in the comments. We did this yesterday in Canva when we got like the 30 graphic posts in a matter of, a few minutes. I see you there now, Barb and Terrell. Hi, everybody. Hi, Andrea and Lori. I can see all the comments now. So please put your questions in the chat too for Gail. I would love to go through any questions before, we're done today. So this is fabulous, Gail. When you see something like this generated, what typically do you do from here? What's your jumping off point?
So then what I would do is, obviously I have an idea in my head. So and Betsy, like, what you want to teach, the transformation you want for your students. So then what I would do is I would go through module, I would have a look and I would read. And there's definitely, the first thing I do is I get rid of things. So if there's stuff that I'm not keen, to include, or it's maybe too advanced or too basic, then the next thing I will do is I will say to ChatGPT, right, I would like to look at modules 1 to 7 or whatever. We're not going to do 8, 9, and 10, or I like module 1, 3, and 7. For now, let's get rid of the others. And so basically, I would then go through it and I would create an outline that I liked, that I wanted to teach, that I knew how to teach. So that would be my next thing that I would do. And then from there, I would say, right, but now we've got this as a good starting point, but I want to add in information on this, this, and this.
Gotcha.
So in the end, I get a course outline that I'm happy with, that I know how to teach, and it's, skills in my head.
So like I would like to add modules on how to administer and moderate an online live class in Zoom, including reporting, transcription. So you would be as explicit as this?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go real explicit and see if it gets some of the new features. Zoom clips is one of the new ones, and polls. Let's see. I didn't even scan the answers to see if polls was there, but I see what you mean, which is a great example for everybody watching, which is that when you want to tweak it, that's the thing, how to start. But a lot of people will tell me this, that they talk to chat. They're like, thank you so much for that. That's exactly what I wanted, or thank you. And do you find that too, that it helps at least with your brand voice?
Absolutely. 100%. And the other thing that I also do, I'm not sure if the free one, sorry, Betty, just going about the Zoom IQ and stuff. I'm not sure if the free one has access to the internet. So just see if it's correct, because it might be a good example of a hallucination. But yes, the other tip that I always have for people is, when you are happy with something, add it back into that thread and say, right, this is what I'm going with. So what I normally do is as I'm brainstorming my course outline or whatever, I take the things that I like and I put it onto a Google Doc. And then I tweak, we change things, we chat, whatever. And when I have my final outline, I copy it off my Google Doc and I put it back into ChatGPT and I say, right, this is the final doc and this is what we're going to do. So that
Beautiful.
ChatGPT learns from you. So again, when you start brainstorming titles and headlines and things like that, I always tell it which one I'm going for, because then it gives me more of that kind of title or topic. So
Beautiful.
that's a really good idea. And a really pro tip that not many people do is that when you've done that, when you're happy with something, pop it back into ChatGPT and ask it. So this is what we've decided on, but can you look at it for me now? And can you suggest any improvements? And then it's amazing the stuff that it comes back with. So it will say, normally it's very polite. It says, wow, that's such a good course outline. It's da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But improvements are always available. And then it will go through things that you may not have thought about when you're brainstorming. And it will tell you, like, if for my challenge, it was saying, improvements, get your participants to actually do these exercises. So leave gaps in the presentation and let people do it. It just gave a whole lot of really good feedbacks that I hadn't thought about. So redid it, and then so you can ask it for those improvements as well, which really works well.
Could you do just some little basic tips? And then I want to go to the questions that are in the comments here.
Sure.
Just some of the little icons, again, that's the tech trainer in me. I feel for the people watching who want to learn really well, and then it jumpstarts them to using this better, feeling comfortable. Next to every generated answer are these little icons. So there's a little clipboard. Yes. What do you use that for?
That is to copy. So you can copy that whole outline there, and you can then add it to your Google Doc or anything like that.
So pretty much if you just click on the little clipboard, it copies that last generated bit.
The whole last generated thing, yes.
Gotcha.
It does have a few asterisks and a few funny symbols that you just have to clean up, but it makes it much easier. It used to have to. Yeah, there we go. So it's just got a few asterisks and a few funny things that you just need to clean up.
Okay, yeah. That was great. I wanted people to see that. And then what do you use the thumbs up or thumbs down for?
So thumbs up is obviously for a good output, and thumbs down is if you don't like the output.
Gotcha.
And then you see that regenerate at the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it at all, you can just hit that. I don't often just regenerate. I always tell it why I don't like it. So I'll often say, please regenerate, but instead of, or often it's to do with the language. Sometimes, especially 3.5 is very descriptive in its language. So, you'll be like, I don't know, when I was doing, Betsy, you'll laugh, when I was doing the emails for Meg today, it kept on saying, but darling, imagine this, and sweetheart, imagine this. And I was like, Mega's going to kill me if I send those to her. But darling, you not alone, and sweetheart, we're there for you, So I always I explained to it why I wanted to regenerate. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's great. I asked it to regenerate removing the Zoom IQ and Zoom clips, but I just clicked the regenerate button. So when you want it to regenerate, because you see Zoom IQ and Zoom clips are still in there. So how would you get it to remove? Like you've
done there. Please regenerate, but remove the Zoom, and then just hit the green.
Hit the green. Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Wonderful. So here's the revised course outline without the Zoom IQ and Zoom Clips modules. That's beautiful. Great. Okay, so we'll go to the questions just while we're waiting for that to generate. So we have, this may be a silly question. No silly questions, but how do you have ChatGPT give you the bold in your chat? She says, mine always runs together. Like see the modules are bold? Yeah.
So sometimes it just does it, but if you wanted to, you can just ask it to create headings, the module titles as headings. Also it's called markdowns. So you could maybe just ask it to
On how
okay.
to use, I'm going to do on how to use whiteboards in
Perfect.
Zoom when teaching real estate continuing education classes, so that, okay, I'm not going to do it so that. And then would you say, please use
say,
headings?
yeah, please use headings for modules and subheadings where applicable, something like that. And let's see what it says.
Okay, let's see what we get for that. So that's that one question as that generates. And then the next question is, does chat 4 have a microphone so that you do not have to type everything if you are brainstorming?
Yes,
Okay.
it does. So it is, if you just ask chat, or even just Google like voice prompts for ChatGPT, you will get a whole lot of add-ons, so extensions, Google extensions, and then you can find them. I've actually got one, so if you give me a moment.
Okay, and I just did that Google search for everybody watching.
And did you find
voice prompts for ChatGPT? So this first one comes up, a Chrome extension called Voice Control for ChatGPT. I haven't used any of these, so I'm going totally off of your expertise.
So let me just see which one I have, and then we can have a look, see.
All righty.
Yeah, voice control for ChatGPT. Is that what you found there?
Yes, that's the first one.
Yeah, and it actually works really well. So it's just a Chrome extension. You pop it in, and then you can speak instead of type.
Yeah, so there you go. That's for Lisa in the comments. I'm not going to actually do it. I'm demonstrating right now from Safari on a Mac. So I do that. I keep one device, one browser just for my business, so I can do Mac demonstration, and then Windows has my Chrome, which I'm not sharing from right now. But this just shows you all, if this is going to look exactly like this in Chrome, and you're just going to click on the blue button, which probably would say install. If you're not in the Chrome browser right now, you would have to switch over, and that's what this button would do too. It'll switch you over there. So that's great. That's a great question. I've never thought of using just the microphone rather than typing.
And you know what you could also use it for is in your brand voice, you can say, now I'm going to speak. So you could have a paragraph, or you could have, I've heard people calling it their heart speech, their passion pitch. So you could literally, like I did in the beginning, where I'm like, and I was that online course creator who was just so overwhelmed and had a to-do list a mile long. You just talk it through, and then it forms part of your brand voice, because often we speak more naturally than we write. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Are there any other questions or anything else you want to add, Gail? That I know we did some basics. I know next week during the free training, I'm going to put the link in the chat again while you tell us a little bit more about maybe what you've been working on.
Sure. So again, when I was out walking, I do my best thinking when I'm out walking. So I was going through, what I was going to be doing in the challenge. I'm basically going to be showing you how to get those ideas out of your head and into a logical course. And we're going to go through your course outline. So we're going to go through your idea generation into your course outline. From your course outline, we're going to put it into a logical order of modules with their lessons. From there, we're going to take it through to any resources, workbooks, quizzes, assessments. So by the end of it, if you sit with me for, I'm not sure how long that presentation is going to take, I need to run through it, we should have your course outlined, your modules ready. I'll show you how to do your presentation scripts, your video scripts, your resources. We should have your course ready by the end of that session. And if we don't have your course ready, I will have a sheet for you with all the prompts, and because it's often not a linear process. It's often we sort of go here and then we get sort of taken down here, and chat comes up with ideas you hadn't thought about. So but I will show you how to do it. And then yeah, but so as I said, by the end of it, you should have your full course outlined, and then Meg is going to show you how to pop it. It sounds quite easy, but the full Kajabi training, and then yeah, you will have your
Yeah.
course ready for the world.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about doing it this way is that once you've got a course, even if it's not already, we talk about the sort of backwards strategy, and I'm going to be teaching the backwards strategy in our course creation. But the nice thing is then if you put this into ChatGPT, this is the course that I'm going to be doing. Now, can you give me an idea of the offer stack that I should create going backwards to the very first contact I have with my ideal client? We've done our ideal client deep dive. We know that what we want. We know the transformation is sitting here for our clients. Now, can you give me an idea of a tech stack or an offer stack that I can create back to my very first contact with my ideal client and based on my ideal client's journey? So it just opens up the possibilities to strategize and to know what to do from your lead magnet. Every step of the way is moving them towards your program. So that's why I just love ChatGPT so much, and I get so excited because it's just, the potential is just huge, And we would all have got there. We would all have got there eventually, but we just can fast track it with the aid of ChatGPT.
Love it. Well, thank you so much. For me, I look to you to get that idea of how to move to the next step, because oftentimes I don't know what to ask. And it reminds me of what I tell everybody that I teach, which is if you don't know what to ask, just ask anything. And it's probably the same thing here, is just start asking chat anything. And
Absolutely.
yeah, you'll start to learn. But I know that with this free training next week, and I did put the link in the chat, I'm sharing the page right now just to show there's 3 of us next week, 3 days, 3 of us. And all of it's recorded. So we're all the kind that we totally over deliver. We love it. We love giving you lots and lots and lots of stuff to do and learn. And Meg's got the Kajabi piece. You've got the AI ChatGPT. And then I, of course, show how to get it out there and tell the world using Zoom. So I can't wait to learn more from you next week. If there's any other questions for anybody, or if you're watching back on the replay, certainly this recording will stay in the group, and you can certainly put your questions in. And Gail's a member here. It's Member Spotlight. And we do have member spotlights. This is something I started about a year ago, and I love to showcase all of you who are here using tech. This is the tech playground. So thanks, Gail, for agreeing to come in and be our guest and teach us just a little bit about using chat. Is there anything else you want to add before we say goodbye to everybody?
One last tip. You were saying that sometimes you don't know what to ask it. So if you're stuck, if you're not getting what you want, ask ChatGPT to ask you any questions that it needs in order to give you the output that you're looking for. So it will then start asking you questions, and you can answer those questions. And
Love
from
that.
there, you will probably get to where you need to go.
Okay, so we're going to end on that note because I love that. So what I did in the top left corner is I did new chat. Let's just say you come in here and you don't know what to ask. And so what would be that prompt?
So you would say something like, I need to write an email letter. I need to write an email to a cold audience about a new promotion. Please ask me any questions you need to know in order to help me write this email. And then just say, ask one question at a time and let me answer before you generate the email.
Okay,
And
that is
yeah,
beautiful. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put that in. I know everybody's seeing what I'm seeing here, but this is the prompt idea if you don't know what to ask. And then I'm just going to paste it there inside our group so that, okay, so that we have it there. And then okay, so of course, I'd be happy to help you write that email. Let's start by gathering some information. What is the new promotion? This is beautiful. What is the new promotion you're offering? Please provide a brief description. And so I'm just going to say, stay tuned. This is a great way. This is like the sequel. Okay. I'm gonna just say to be continued. That's a great way to end. So I think everybody knows where to take it from here, but that's beautiful. Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's a great pro tip, and it helps so much when you get stuck.
Beautiful. I love that. Love, love, love that. Well, thanks again. Let me just post that one in here. We will hopefully see you all next week in the free training. We'll see you over in the other Facebook group, which is the Blast Off Tech Squad, and you'll get an invite to that when you join the free training week. So thanks, everybody. And thanks, Gail. Really appreciate it. It was great.
Thanks, Betsy.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.